Friday, everyone. Let's see here. All right. My headline today is from Marijuana Moment. Johns Hopkins researchers to follow nationally representative cohort of 10,000 cannabis patients in federally funded study by Ben Adlin. A new study by researchers at Johns Hopkins University will track 10,000 medical cannabis patients over a year or more in an effort to better understand the efficacy and impact of cannabis therapy. Funded with a 5-year, $10 million grant from the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the research team will work with federal researchers and the nonprofit Realm of Caring to collect data around dosing, delivery methods, the chemical composition of products, possible medication interactions, and other treatment details. Study co-creator Ryan Vandry, a professor of psychiatry and behavioral science at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, said in a statement, "We hope to provide some starting points for understanding what types of products may or may not be helpful and what type of products may be more risky for use in certain populations or for certain therapeutic purposes." Under the umbrella term of cannabis exists hundreds of products that are all different in very important and significant ways, he added. We're trying to narrow the scope a little bit, find areas of real promise, and focus the science on those. As a cannabis scientist, I've been waiting for this news for 8 years. As I see it, the best way to study cannabis is using real-world products and observing real-world effects. Too many studies focus on isolated THC or CBD, which are not what the community uses. So a shout out to Johns Hopkins for getting this funding from NIDA. But that's also a problem. NIDA is funding the research. NIDA's mission is to advance the science on drug addiction. No wonder Dr. Vandry's statement discusses the risk of cannabis use in certain populations. I'm concerned that he will focus more on the risk than the benefit of cannabis. A Johns Hopkins press release states that the National Cannabis Study is part of a larger cannabis and health research initiative. Johan Struhl, a project collaborator and mental health professor at Johns Hopkins, says, "We're tracking patients with multiple assessments over the course of their first year, with more tightly spaced assessments toward the beginning, because our assumption is that as people are starting their medical cannabis journey, they're likely going to try different products until they find the products that best help them with their symptoms." Addressing cannabis research barriers has been a key priority for multiple federal health agencies as scientists continue to face an onerous and costly registration process to access cannabis due to its current status as a Schedule I drug under the Controlled Substances Act. This policy is actively under review by the DEA. So Johns Hopkins will be observing 10,000 medical cannabis users and thousands of products in order to determine what works and what doesn't. We've been asking for more studies. Is this good news? Is this a good response to our ask? What do you think? This is Dr. Jean Talleyrand with High at 9 News.
I'm skeptical, Dr. T.
Thank you for covering this one, Dr. T. It's very, it is something that we need to look out for. Make sure he's not coming in from the angle where he's more focused on the risk than the benefits there. But yeah, we'll keep our antenna out for this one, man, and then follow your lead on this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm skeptical.
I'm very concerned.
Anytime you involve NIDA, I'm always skeptical. I always feel like you're setting it up for failure.
Yeah, I was so excited.
With an open mind, though.
Yeah, I was excited because I was like exactly what we need to do. Finally, looking at the products that are being used in the community. You know, this is really where the research is missing. But you know, I'm skeptical also when NIDA's at the helm. So we'll see.
And Dr. T, how if they're doing this on study on actual products that are in the marketplace, how are they gonna be able to have a quantified, stable study in order to conduct this type of a study? Because from my understanding, that was always one of the problems of testing products from stores, is that you're not using a stable source that's consistent every time.
Well, that's, part of the challenge of the research is that the products change, from batch to batch. The good news, though, is that regulators have asked for product testing. So we at least have products with some, we can identify the products by their content. And so those COAs are really helpful in our research.
So since they test by SKUs, Dr. T, can we call that skewed testing?
You can.
The SKUs are skewed. I keep computers puting.
You got any thoughts on this, Elise? That's some interesting news, Johns Hopkins University.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy that they were going beyond just THC and CBD isolates, and looks like testing whole plant medicine. And again, what people are actually using in the community. But like you guys, I'm concerned with who's funding the study. Always follow the money.
Always follow.
Yeah, and I looked at the principal investigators, Lisa, and they're all, mental health professionals, psychiatrists, no oncologists, cancer specialists, so issues.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. We shall see. I guess. So the jury remains out for deliberation on this. Am I correct on that, Dr. T? Like, we're hoping for the best, but we're going to expect the worst, and we'll see what the outcome is. And I'm sure you'll do a follow-up. You'll do a follow-up story once we have some results from this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait. Time will tell. We'll be hopelessly optimistic, I would say, Rico.
I'm always optimistic first, man.
Oh, man. We're going to go.
Half full. I'm happy to be vertical, baby, not horizontal. Let's go.
Boy.